Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all of you. We're going to continue to chapter 2, designing the CMS. This is the theory of what is the data that you should consider for your designing the website that use a content management system. Those theories somehow been used for several years, and the flow and ideas is quite similar with what is happening right now in CMS development. So on chapter 2, we have three parts, A, B, and C. Okay, I will upload all the notes in order. So this is all the topics that we're going to discuss in chapter 2. What is the metadata? Cataloging the audience, designing publication, designing content type, designing content access structure, designing template, designing personalization. Okay, part A, metadata and cataloging audience. Okay, metadata is structured information that describe, explain, locate, or otherwise make it easier to retrieve, use, or manage information resources. So this is how we structured our data. We call it metadata. Just like this, for example, books. What we have in the books, and normally we have a title, we have author, okay, we have years of publication, maybe we have a number of pages, and maybe we have of course we have a subject, a chapter, and subchapter. So anything related to books we can group into one informations in this organizing of data. We call it a metadata. Okay, so inside this, for example, we have a title, and then somehow in this document we have an abstract, and then we have a keywords. So these three things also can be considered as a metadata. Okay, as long as it is logically under the terminologies or related to the data that you want to group or organize. Okay, this is the third example. Okay, this is the information of employee. Okay, this is quite complex to understand, right? But in this some sort of data, actually what we have is who create this, and the content, the relation, the technical, so anything. It doesn't mean as long as it is logically, okay, can be organized into data. We call it a metadata. So this is another example. Another example. Okay, we're going to see it in a technical way. So this is hold on. Okay, as you can see, okay, this one is actually the metadata management, where how the information gonna be retrieved by using this meta language like this. Okay, when we have this, okay, you can see the publication date. Okay, all of these things is actually going to be displayed. This one. Okay, this is what is inside the CMS. Inside the CMS is auto generated, and then it's going to be simplified and easy for the content. It's going to be displayed in the website. All of this data is actually in the forms of a row and column in database. Then they just call the data and then display in the website. So this is the wheel of content management. Okay, we have the circulation. Okay, the circulation means that it's going to be repeated all over again. Okay, but of course it started with this, the goals and requirement, our target audience, and what need to publish. Okay, what is the authors and acquisition sources, what form. Okay, whether it is now we in CMS, normally we pull out from the database, and then how we manage this CMS by assigning not a representative, staff that can handle this process. And then we have the access structure. Access structure, and then that's it for the wheel of content management system. Okay, technically this is part of the theory, where how do you want to manage your CMS. Okay, characteristic of metadata, we have one, sharing. Metadata provide the capability to share data across application. By employing data that describe the use and meaning of the data that is around, one system can interpret and translate the data that it received from another. In a content management context, metadata enable publication that each require a somewhat different from the same data to draw from common repository. Sharing mean whatever a platform or any application that can retrieve the data from the database. In this matter, we going to consider it using a database, because this is how the data being stored and being shared. So one of the characteristic of the metadata is a sharing. The second one is a standard. Okay, this standard going to be generated by the CMS itself, and then it can be shared throughout all of the platform. The third one is of course in the database. Okay, everything that need to be stored is inside the database. So this is a dynamic kind of a web page, where we put everything. We put everything inside a database, so that all of data gonna be retrieved later on. Okay, the fourth one is awareness of the wider world. Okay, why it is important? It increases the accessibility, the retention of the content, the expanding use of the data, system development and enhancement, multi-versioning, legal issues, preservation and persistence, and system improvement and economic. Okay, the problem of uh, standalone or static web page, we're going to develop each of the page manually one by one. Okay, but for CMS, when we're handling the data by using the metadata, it can be retrieved easily. Design criteria for our metadata system is going to be durable, interoperable. It can be simulation across the web, despite hardware, software, network, infrastructure, and search engine. And then precise. Okay, durable mean and interoperable mean whatever hardware or software that you use, it can be operated. For example, I'm using a laptop with Windows operating system, and then I'm using the Android phone. And then the CMS can be accessed easily. So that means as long as it has a web browser, that's it. So you can do customization or management of your website, okay, using any platform, as long as it is covers the content itself through a web browser. So it is flexible. Okay, support any search engine, search transport and display option. Okay, search engine, especially like Google, will crawl easily with the CMS website, where the enable of crawling, okay, web crawling, is set by the CMS itself. It is efficient and easy to control, and it is granular. Granular means it's able to search the top page, subsequent page, or drill down to an underlying database of object. The meaning of granular is where the data is being structured and organized so that it's easy we want to search. Okay, like how we organize a menu and sub menu, and then we have a sub and sub menu by grouping. Okay, but should be in a similar capacity. Okay, cataloging audience. Okay, what is audience? Audience is simply a group of people that you choose to serve in some way. A group of people that is defined by both common set of traits. So actually, the CMS, we must have a specific audience. For example, the LMS. LMS is a sub of the CMS where it is used for learning management system. So the target is audience that want to learn something. Okay, in other words, for example, like author, it is used for UTHM student specifically. For Moodle, for example, it used for students. Okay, a group of people that is defined by both a common set of traits. So traits mean it's a specific characteristic of person that you can discover, store, and combine with other characteristics to know this person. Okay, the interest or the niche of your website, for example, should has a target, jumlah website that use for selling car. So how do you want to organize? What is your target? So it's depend on how do you manage the metadata. Okay, what is the reflex on this thing? Audience and marketing. Say market a group of people with common concerns that motivate their behaviors. Call it an audience. Okay, audience and localization. Locality is a specific combination of language, region, and affiliation. Do you remember? Maybe you have this experience when you go to google.com and then suddenly it is a redirect to google.my. Okay, what is the reason of that thing? Because it is for the locality. Okay, there is a few rules and regulation content of the website in Malaysia compared to in the Google US. So Google take this to divert the content of the Google US to Google Malaysia. So they search a result, the fundamentals content should be locally. For example, .my is going to be shared Malaysian information. Okay, that is the meaning of audience and localization. I'm using Google for example, okay, because it's widely used today, but not in China. So that is the meaning of localization, a process of making content as understandable as possible in the variety of cultures in which people view. So we're going to generalize our content as long so that the content is acceptable to all audience. There is a few certain rules need to be complied, either being instructed by the government or the local authority. So we need to comply that. We don't want to just simply throw out the content, for example, illegal information, for example, how to make drugs and everything. That one is wrong. Actually, it's not good. So what is the problem of audience and localization? Okay, and ignorance. Ignorance of the need for localization has helped prevent localization wide-scale application. So the difficulty, it adds a lot of complexity to an already complex system. This is an example, Baidu in China and Google in worldwide. Okay, as you can see, if you go to the Baidu website, okay, for us, maybe it is not as good as a Google, but for them, it is agreed with the locality. Okay, this is how we look at what the CMS going to be look like by using a localization. Okay, why localize? This is a proof that when we target a specific audience, it's going to be good for the viewer or accessibility to your website. Okay, that's all for part A. So we're going to continue with part B.